Welcome back to the City League Live from Bonner Fitness and Learning Center. We are here ready for the last game of the night. It's Sentier Bank, the 5-0 Sentier Bank, taking on Circle City Talk, who stands at 1-3 here for their last game of the regular season. I'm Andrew Garrison. Alongside me is Brooks White, here on a wonderful evening of basketball so far. And a slow start for both teams, about a minute in to the first half.
Gino is the sharpshooter for Sentier Bank. Sentier Bank is the best team on the Queens of the Court side. However, they are missing their star player, Allie Becky, tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond without Allie Becky. Obviously, she was crucial for the Ball State Cardinals' run to that MAC championship just a couple of months ago.
And Allie Becky certainly, at least in terms of recency, and obviously you mentioned that that run, but probably the biggest name that the City League has in terms of recent success and recent excitement here locally especially. And seeing her out tonight is, of course, disappointing, but the Sentier Bank squad is just so loaded top to bottom. And we see Amber Harris put the first points on the board for Circle City Talk. It's Smith to Smith on the left wing. And Angel Gino at the top of the key. Over to Gomez. Gomez's shot slides off. She's been struggling to find her shot in the last few games. Misses there. And there's a foul on the way to the rim for Harris.
Well, also for Sentier Bank, Alex Richard, the center, she does not have the size advantage in which she has had for the majority of the regular season here for Sentier Bank. However, she was one of the best bigs in the MAC conference as well this past year. So it'll be interesting to see that battle down low, how that'll work for Sentier Bank tonight. Obviously, without their spark plug, I would expect the Smith sisters to have to step up as well as the shooting from Angel Gino.
And there's Gino whipping it back to Smith, and Smith flashes inside, puts it up under and through. And here is a transition turnover. Angel Gino launches, and she misses. But you mentioned the shooting of Angel Gino. When she turns it on, it is hard to turn off, especially paired with just how much talent is on this Sentier Bank team. See an Amber Harris triple. Off the mark. Offensive rebounds. Here's another opportunity. Again off the mark from deep. That was Foster. Here's Smith. Olivia Smith into Richard. Out to Haley Smith. Sisters here at the City League. Richard backing down Harris. And you can see that size disadvantage show itself there.
Which is funny because Richard has really had the size advantage in most games here at the City League for Sentier Bank. But what she doesn't have in size right now, she's making it up with the tempo, pushing it up the court.
And Smith to Smith, and it's taken away in the lane by Foster. Foster works to the elbow, crosses the court, finds Hales. Hales back to Foster on the right wing. Back to Harris. Harris, a triple, top of the key, just off the mark. Rebounded by Smith. Olivia Smith into Richard. Richard, triple team. She's fouled, and the bucket falls. Tough take from Richard, but she finds the bottom of the net as they go up 7-3.
Well, Richard right now, like I just mentioned, she is beating Amber Harris up the floor. Harris, who has the size advantage against her, just doesn't have the stamina right now that Richard has. She gets up the court quick, and that was a great and strong finish with the foul for Sentier Bank. And Sentier Bank, like we've mentioned, without Allie Becky, who is a sharpshooter in her own right, but Alex Richard has done a great job dominating here in her first season at the City League.
Absolutely, and here's Foster working downhill. She can't connect. But in the turnover second chance opportunity, Circle City Talk will make it a one-possession game once again here early on. It's important that Circle City Talk stays in it in the first half, especially without Ali Becky to really turn on the Jets in the second and allow this opposing team to pull away. And here's Foster once again, finishing at the glass, 1-point game. Gino crosses the court to Smith. Back to Gino in the corner. A triple is just off the mark. Been waiting for that shot to fall from her in this game. And Richard again swarmed in the middle of the lane. Can't connect as a result. Circle City Talk, opportunity to take the lead as Marisha Harris is fouled on the way to the rim once again.
Well, Harris does a great job at getting downhill. Right now, I think for Sentier Bank, what they need to do is have the Smith sisters get hot. They're physical, they're great defenders, and they're also people that, I've seen play all the way through high school. Fishers High School, they were great at Fishers, and now they're collegiate athletes, and they have that extra gear that they did not have in high school, and I think that's what makes them so good here at the City League. But playing around a player like Ali Becky, obviously we've talked about her absence a lot, but it makes she makes everybody on the court better. And I think somebody for Sentier Bank needs to step up, especially as they have been letting a lot of turnovers happen here. A lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy basketball, a lot of bad shots taken for Sentier Bank right now.
Absolutely, and really what is great about the Smith sisters is on the defensive side, creating and forcing turnovers. They both do it. They're both excited about doing it, play after play. But we see a shot clock violation on the other end there from Circle City Talk, and it seemed like they had no idea, which honestly partially isn't even their fault. There wasn't a shot clock to start the year, and then they kind of got it working inside Bonner Fitness and Learning Center and were able to implement that part of the game. But it was not a factor early and certainly has become one on that last possession. Foster works inside. She can't finish. And of note, on the other ends for Circle City Talk, Patty Shikamba is not in attendance. So really the star player for both sides is out. Shikamba has dropped 40 in this team's only win on the season. This will be very fascinating to see kind of which team comes out on top without their star. Of course, Sentier Bank is, and you mentioned the Smith sisters, certainly way more talented on paper. And one of the replacements for Becky is going to be Kaylin Terrell. Takes the ball across the floor. Smith's at the top of the key, working to the right wing. Gomez, left wing triple, just off. Rebounded by Richard and an effortless putback for two. Whistle on the floor. Brooks, did you see the call?
Yeah, they called a delay of game on Richard after her shot. Unsure what happened, probably throwing the ball after she made the shot. That would make sense, but did not get a good look at it.
It's Rodriguez trying to find the Bucks. Can't quite do so, and Richard will convert on the other ends after the turnover. Rodriguez crosses left to right once again. Works inside to Harris. There's a triple just off the mark, and once again, Sentier Bank will look to punish. Here's Richard to Smith. Smith fires just off, rebounded by Terrell. This is Olivia Smith with the basketball. Whips it to Terrell, and that one is intercepted by Foster.
That's Foster's third steal of the night.
Can't convert from three-point lands, but again, stolen away by Circle City Talk. Here's Harris, wide open triple. Off the rim once, off the backboard and through. And that one might mean a lot once we get to the Elam ending if this game stays close. Here's Richard in the mid-range, off the back of the rim. Rebound Harris. It'll be interesting to see Rodriguez take the ball up the floor more in the absence of Patty Shikamba. As she finds Foster, it's back out to Harris. Harris a long two. And the shot looked similar, and the bounce off the rim looked similar, but not the same result that time. Here's Gomez from the corner, and it falls. So a 15-point lead, or excuse me, 15 points on the board, 5-point lead for Sentier Bank as a timeout is called. We're going to take a quick break here from the City League at Bonner Fitness and Learning Center. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few to resume this game with 8:46 to go in the first half. Welcome back to the City League live from Bonner Fitness and Learning Center. Here for game 4 of 4 tonight. Harris rumbles inside, puts 2 more on the board for Circle City Talk. They're really staying in this one, Circle City Talk is. Smith at the top of the key. She finds her sister, and now it's into Richard. Richard in the mid-range. Off back iron, rebounded by Rodriguez. Rodriguez pushing the pace the other way, and a whistle on the floor. Looks like a take foul from Haley Smith there on that play. And we've seen Alex Richard multiple times on the other end, knowing that she doesn't have the size advantage against Amber Harris. She hasn't been taking it all the way to the rim. She's been pulling up a few feet short in the lane, looking for those jump shots, looking for those floaters. And they've been hitting some, and they've been missing other times. But it'll be interesting to see if Richard can really settle in on that shot, because if she can, then she will have cracked the code of beating the defense of Amber Harris despite the size disadvantage. So the free throw will fall, and Rodriguez will inbounds for Circle City Talk off the take foul. It's Becca Bucks with the basketball, flashing inside. And that shot flies off the mark. Comes Sentier Bank. Here comes Terrell. Right wing triple. That one's off the mark. And a whistle on the floor. Looks like it will stay here with Sentier Bank. 6:40 to go in the first half. Smith to Gino. Back to Smith. And Richard in the mid-range, whipping it to Gino, and there's a shot clock violation. So we saw one from Circle City Talk earlier in the half, and now Sentier Bank returns the favor. And again, seems like they just had no idea. Here comes Foster crossing the timeline. She's at the top of the key. A long two falls. Just had her toe on the line, but Foster will tie the game up with that shot. Here's Smith now launching. That one's off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Hales. Grace Hales to Harris. Foster at the top of the key. She launches a triple. It's off back iron. Rebound goes to Alex Richard. as Amber Harris was already backpedaling into the now front court. Here's Smith launching from the mid-range. That one falls. And that's going to be an interesting subplot of this game as well, is Amber Harris kind of is taken out of the rebounding game because she's backpedaling so quick, knowing that Alex Richard could blow by her in transition, and there's a hard foul as Gino hits the floor. But you see that kind of game of chess because Harris has the size advantage, so Richard is going to have to pull from a little bit further out in the lane to hit shots. But then on the flip side, Alex Richard can run the floor better, and Harris then kind of has to get back in transition quicker and can't really contribute to the rebounding effort as much. And Smith knocks down a three and has something to say about it to Becca Bucks. Here's Foster running out of room. Kicks it out to Harris. Harris corner, or right wing three rather, is off iron, and she's frustrated by it. And Terrell launches from the corner. One's just off. Richard with the rebounds. An errant shot is rebounded again by Terrell. Gino will cash in off of multiple offensive rebounds.
Gino is on the floor to be a shooter. She's making her presence felt right there.
And Circle City Talk fails to respond. And Smith launches in transition, but throws it out of bounds, and Circle City Talk will get it back.
Oh yeah, Andrew, just having some great fun here at the City League. Game 4 tonight. Been here a while here in the Bonner Fitness and Learning Center.
As Foster knocks down a three from the right wing. This game was actually moved from tomorrow's slate. It is the nightcap here on Wednesday. Typically there's 3 on Wednesday, 4 on Thursday. There will now be the opposite. Richard misfires. Rebound is not quite hauled in by Smith. Here's Foster on the right wing, working to the corner.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you'll also be back here doing the City League tomorrow night as well.
Zion Brown and I taking the call for the 3 games tomorrow as Foster finishes at the rim for 2.
It'll be a great time here, back again at the Bonner Fitness and Learning Center. Andrew Garrison is just the best in the biz, and he knows the City League like the back of his hand.
Allegedly. 24-20. Amber Harris with the basketball. 2:10 left to go in the half. And Circle City Talk's done a great job staying in this one. Patty Shikamba out tonight. Allie Becky on the other side out tonight. And Circle City Talk is hanging with the undeniable best team on the Queens of the Court side. Grace Hales knocks down a triple from the left wing to beat the shot clock. And now it's a 1-point game, and that really plays to the point about Circle City Talk staying in this one. And Gino with a splendid shot from the mid-range extends the lead to 3. 90 seconds.
Floater alert from Gino.
And she knocks it down. And now Grace Hales again, left wing triple. That seems to be her spot. She ties up the game. And this is going to be an interesting conversation if Circle City Talk has a lead heading into halftime against the best team in the league here. Smith to Gino, deep 3, just off back iron, rebounded by Hales. 60 seconds left to go in the half.
It's closer to half court than it was the 3-point line there from Gino.
Would have been an electrifying make, but instead it's Foster launching from 3. Rebound to Alex Richard. Richard to Smith to Gino. She whips to Richard. Richard in the mid-range, just misses. Didn't have Amber Harris in front of her, but had a tough time against Grace Hales. Harris loses control of it. Richard can't poke it out. About 20 seconds left to go in the half now. Foster working downhill to the block. And that one's off the mark. Second chance opportunity to Harris, and Harris sees it fly out of bounds, and that will more than likely be the last action of the first half. And yeah, they just couldn't quite get control of the ball on the inbounds. And Smith frustrated with that result. But Sentier Bank, a team that scores 70 points per game, has been held to 26 without Ali Becky here. We'll take a short break heading into halftime. We have 20 minutes just about of basketball left for you here tonight from the City League. Welcome back to the City League live from Bonner Fitness and Learning Center at the Chase Legacy Building here in Indianapolis. Game 4 of 4 as Becca Bucks takes a 3 and it rattles off. We were tied heading into halftime. We remain tied between these two teams. And here's Smith taking the pass from her sister, working inside. She's swarmed by some front court defense. Finds Gino on the left wing. She launches a triple and hits, and Sentier Bank will retake the lead.
Gino is a shooter.
And Rodriguez will seek a response, guarded by Gino. And Harris runs out of room at the block. Tries to give it up to Rodriguez. She loses it, and it's Gino.
Gino is a great defender.
Smith finds Richard. Richard to Gomez. And Richard cleans up the boards to put 2 more on the board.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes Richard so exciting to watch is the way she moves without the ball, the way she gets downhill, and the way that she has really been propelling this offense in the absence of Allie Becky.
Of course, they were teammates at Ball State this past season. Rodriguez inside, can't finish. Gino throws it out of bounds in search of Gomez. Gomez accepts the blame and heads back on defense. And again out of bounds. And it will be
Sentier Bank basketball.
Good eye there, Brooks, as Smith takes the ball across the court. Finds her sister, back to Olivia Smith from Haley Smith. And Richard inside. Strong dribble, but too strong of a shot as well. She was against Grace Hales with Harris on the bench. And here's Foster working the other way, up under and off the mark. Took a hard fall. No foul call. Gino on the left wing to Richard about the free throw line, and she misses once again. Here's Hales working inside against Richard. Back to Bucks. Bucks a triple just off. And she frustratedly marches the other way as she has missed each and every one of her shots so far this game. Here's Gomez, a triple, and it falls from the left wing. 34-26. Sentier Bank is starting to pull away, and Circle City Talk's going to have some important possessions coming up.
Indubitably, Andrew.
Harris inside. That shot rolls around the rim and off. Harris can't finish the second time. Kicks it out to Foster. Foster corner 3. Draws back iron. Rebounded by Smith. Smith left to right. And a triple from the corner.
Smith to Smith right there. It's a great connection. And the sisters team up there, but Sentier Bank have really turned up and up the ante here in the second half. A lot of deep three-point shots falling, and it really starts from the great shooting by Gino.
Angel Gino. 5 points per game, 33% from 3, but having a great night here tonight.
And those are some crucial 5 points a game for Sentier Bank because they win the games by so much. You know, those 5 points really end up mattering at the end.
Yeah, well, Angel Gino does certainly have some semblance of a clutch gene. I feel like, especially late when you're in the Elam ending or you're approaching that Elam ending, we see Angel Gino really put some shots through that make an impact there late in games. And I want to take a moment to highlight how awesome this Sentier Bank team is, knowing that they're up 11 without Allie Becky, who was Mid-American Conference Player of the Year. I mean, Alex Richard, obviously fantastic big in the Mid-American Conference. You have the Smith sisters forcing turnovers around the perimeter and, of course, hitting shots in their own right. And then on the floor right now, Gomez and Gino, two strong shooters as well. This team is going to be so difficult to outpace as we see Gomez force a turnover, work the other way. Smith back to Gomez, now to Richard, and Richard will put it off the glass and through for a 13-point lead.
It's a great way to find the open pass, and Richard is also, I mean, she's just shown up in this second half, but she's just been consistent down low. I think that's the kind of player that you really need, especially with a team that's so guard heavy like Sentier Bank. I mean, Angel Gino, she's checking out right now. She's not the tallest player on the court, but she makes her presence felt, scoring 5 points a game. But also the Smith sisters, I mean, also not the biggest, but when you play alongside a player like Allie Becky and Alex Richard, I mean, you're in pretty good company here for Sentier Bank.
And talk about guard heavy, a lot of times Allie Becky is taking the ball up the floor, and she certainly could be on this team, you know, played at the 4 position or the 3, but she takes the ball up the floor and really leaves Alex Richard alone down low. And Alex Richard is alone down low here, swarmed by Hales and a few other defenders, but she knocks it down.
Just proving my point right there is Richard. So dominant down low.
Smith clears the boards, reverses the court the other way, and she pulls from the left wing and draws back iron. And we've really seen the offense open up for Sentier Bank. They will certainly more than double their scoring from the first half here in the second. Foster to Rodriguez. And shot clock expiring. Rodriguez lobs one up.
Just a tad short there.
But it looked similar to, this is going to be niche, but Steph Curry in Brooklyn, that near half-court buzzer-beating shot at halftime.
Yeah,
it looks similar.
It looks similar. I bet you, I mean, if I was out there, I could definitely hit that shot, but I'm not out there. I'm right here.
Maybe tomorrow, Brooks. Foster finishes in the other way. 10-point game now. Terrell knocks down a triple from the corner. And Sentier Bank finds themselves up 13 once again. Foster to Harris. Harris inside. Rebounded by Rodriguez. Back to Harris at the top of the key. Harris, deep 3. And the bank is open. Amber Harris knocks it down. And she is not giving up here at Bonner Fitness and Learning Center.
Yeah, I did not expect that one to go in. That was almost from the parking lot. And for the center there to pull up from that deep, it's impressive.
And Foster just misses. Gomez on the other end. Sees her shot ricochet. And Rodriguez will look to cut into this lead some more. Harris on the putback, can't finish, and that is not a way to come back against Sentier Bank. Those are the type of easy shots that you have to see fall if you're going to have a chance down the stretch in this one.
It's a hard foul there from Harris again. Not a great last 30 seconds for her after that deep 3. Again, still very impressive shot, but missing about a gimme right there under the rim and then a hard foul.
We'll see how she does now against Richard. That arguably could have been a foul call, but Richard will miss. Without a whistle, here's Foster, backed against the timeline. She lobs it to Harris.
They're letting them play here at the City League.
And Rodriguez in the right corner, she knocks it down, and that's going to be important. That, could have been potentially a 5-point swing there. And, that was right in front of the viewers. So you all at home can be the judge of your own of whether or not that should have been a foul call. We'll see how much that plays into the score moving forward, that 5-point swing. Timeout is called here at the City League, 44-37 the lead for Sentier Bank. We will be back in a moment. Stick with us. Welcome back to the City League live from Bonner Fitness and Learning Center. I'm Andrew Garrison. Alongside me, Brooks White. Here's Smith in the mid-range, finding Gino, and Terrell launching a left wing three, which will just miss. But Circle City Talks working their way back into it, 44-37. They have a chance here, the last game of the night. Here's Harris turning around and firing. That one's just off. And Harris is having trouble with her knee, it seems. She's slow to get across the floor, and actually she might be coming off. It's effectively 4-on-5, 1-on-2 for Foster, and that shot falls. So in a potential man-down situation, Circle City Talk puts points on the board. Here's Richard. Richard from the elbow. Misfires.
When Richard has been missing, she's been missing off of the front rim. It's happened multiple times here today. I think her strong suit is the driving layups or when she's right under in the semicircle. But again, Sentier Bank kind of falling apart right now. They had a lead just a little bit ago of 10 points, now down to 3. And Circle City Talk controls possession.
And has the opportunity to tie this game back up once again. It seemed like it was slipping out of their hands, but Harris turns around, fires, and draws a foul. So 2 free throws on the way for Harris. But I truly thought this was going the way of Sentier Bank without much question once they put together that run and went up by double digits. But Circle City Talk has stayed in it. They had it tied up at halftime. It is getting close to that point here with under 9 minutes left to play as Harris knocks down the first free throw and the second as well. Comes Smith crossing the timeline. Closely guarded by Rodriguez. Smith works downhill. It's just off. Rebounded by Circle City Talk. Here's Foster. And Foster, an ill-advised pass, and it falls in the hands of Angel Gino. Finds Terrell, back to Gino. And whips a pass to Smith that falls out of bounds. 44-43 the score, and Circle City Talk will have an opportunity to take the lead here.
Yeah, you know, Gino, she's more of a shooter.
And Harris will knock it down, and it is a lead for Circle City Talk off the Angel Gino errant pass. Circle City Talk with a 1-point lead against the undefeated Sentier Bank. Obviously without Ali Becky, but this is momentum to carry into the playoffs. As here's Richard inside, nearly blocked by Harris, not quite. And they'll retake the lead. But also, Circle City Talk here without Patty Shikamba, their star player, who dropped 40 in their only win, and they might have an opportunity to beat the deepest roster in the City League. without her.
Be interesting to see this matchup again. Ooh.
That was a hard fall from both players, and I'm sure you could hear it through our microphones. I certainly heard it through my headphones. Rodriguez intercepts the offensive opportunity, and Harris knocks down the three. Here comes Circle City Talk. They lead by 2. Smith back the other way draws a foul, and she'll head to the line.
Yeah, that's multiple turnovers now for Angel Gino. Again, I think of her more as a shooter.
And it's important to note as well that, and I don't mean to compare what we're seeing in front of us to obviously the professional teams in the area, but there's a clear difference with the Fever with Caitlin Clark on and off the floor in terms of really getting the offense going and moving the basketball where it needs to get, right? We saw early on Aaliyah Boston they couldn't get the ball to Aaliyah Boston the same way they could with Caitlin Clark. I'm seeing that here where Allie Becky's ability to create and find the right pass and really get the offense moving and get the offense flowing from possession to possession. We're seeing some struggles handling the basketball and distributing the basketball in that sense without her, which makes sense as obviously these players typically aren't asked to do that because that's Allie Becky's role. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt here down the stretch. We might be in contention for a thrilling finish here in the Elam ending. We're just over 90 seconds away from getting that target score. Harris will miss, rebound Bucks, and this time the shot from Bucks will fall from 2.
Well, Gino just did not have the size there down low. Becca Bucks getting the rebound, putting it right back up. It's hard to contend with that size differential.
Richard knocks it down from the lane to tie it back up, and we are a minute away from this target score, and this might just be, well, definitely the closest game of the night here. Rodriguez finds Foster. Foster, hard fall, and nearly she was able to knock the shot down as well, and Terrell draws the foul on the other end. She'll head to the line. Give me some critical final possessions here. And Terrell will knock down the first. 51-50. So most likely we're going to see a timeout from Center Bank or Circle City Talk, basically the moment they have possession after the 4-minute point hits. And depending on the result of this free throw, it falls. So 52 points on the board now for Center Bank. And I imagine the target score will end up being 61. Both teams will be very close. And they're actually going to put the Elam ending on the board right now. 61 is the target score. Center Bank has 52. Circle City Talk has 50. This will be a thrilling finish, and this is where the Elam ending, Brooks, really shows why it's great.
Well, the Elam ending is the most exciting thing that the City League has to offer. The endings of the games always end in a game winner in some fashion, but when you have a very, very close game like we have right now, it's very exciting to see the end of the games and also the runs that teams can go on, the comebacks. The Elam ending has it all, and especially here at the City League, we've seen some great finishes this summer.
We see a turnover from Circle City Talk in the backcourt. Some brief frustration and confusion. The intensity has already picked up. Here's Center Bank. Smith to Smith. Smith works from right to left. Back to her sister Haley Smith to Richard. Back to Haley Smith, and Smith up under and off the mark, but it's rebounded by Richard. She fights for it and finishes through 3 Circle City Talk defenders. Here comes Harris to Foster. Foster weaving inside. A few beautiful steps, and she gets past a couple defenders. And there's a foul in transition. And some frustration there from Marisha Harris. And you may have heard through our microphones. Still a close game here. There was that transition foul, so Smith will inbound. And some smack talk here at the City League. At its best. Smith to Gomez to Richard. Gino finds Smith, and Smith is blocked by Harris. Now that was Haley Smith. Olivia Smith was the one inbounding. And Smith seems to be a little bit shaken up in the head and neck area.
Oh yeah, took a beating there in the head and neck area, down low, but hey, it's the Elam ending. And anything to get another win in the win column for Sentier Bank. The Smith sisters putting it all on the line here.
And a win for Circle City Talk will really change the narrative around their season, especially when you play so few games. I mean, 2-3 looks so much better than 1-4. And the momentum, despite obviously Ali Becky not being on the floor, is going to be colossal heading into the tournament. Here's Harris. Circle City Talk, an opportunity to tie it here following the made free throw. Foster's at the top of the key. And left wing three, a deep one, Golden to beat the shot clock. It's a tie ball game. Both teams 2 triples away. Gino, right wing. Just off, put back from Richard goes. And we have a great one on tap here tonight. Here comes Harris on the left wing. Closely guarded by Richard. She finds Rodriguez. Foster makes a move on Richard and draws a foul against Smith. Smith upset about it, but we have an opportunity for yet another tie game down the stretch. Somebody's taking a final shot to win it, and it's looking like it's going to be a one-possession game at that point.
Well, great job following the miss there by Richard down on the other end for Sentier Bank. The free throws are clutch here. You need the free throws down in the stretch, obviously, in the Elam ending. 4 points separate Sentier Bank between that and going perfect in the regular season.
One made free throw, one miss. Gino from 3 just rattles off. Harris to Rodriguez. To Foster. For the lead is Nevaeh Foster. They're a triple away. Circle City Talk is from victory. 4 points away is Sentier Bank. And Richard's wide open, way too easy. So both teams are a bucket of some kind away. And there's some discussion amongst the referees on whether or not a timeout was called. And here's some lengthy discussion. Brooks, did you hear anything?
Yeah, there's talk about somebody bleeding on the court. One of the Smith sisters, apparently she's not bleeding, so no blood, no foul, no stoppage. We're back here at the City League.
And fortunately, the clock not a factor at this point. But Circle City Talk could win the game with the 3 here. Sentier Bank is just 2 points away, and we see some continued jawing between Marisha Harris and Olivia Smith.
It's all in good fun, though. They're both laughing about it. It's fine.
Great to see some laughter in such a tense situation here in the last game of the regular season. Here's Harris, guarded by Richard around the perimeter. Rodriguez is fouled by Richard, and that will more than likely be on the floor and an inbounds. And that is true. So who's taking the shot here, Brooks, if you're Circle City Talk?
I would put the ball in Foster's hands right now.
Harris launches it herself. It's just off. What a shot that would have been. And here comes Sentier Bank, and you have to think it's Alex Richard when you're 2 points away from victory. Gino, long two. It falls. Angel Gino knocks it down.
Gino is a shooter.
And that's game for Sentier Bank. 61-58. Could not be a better script here tonight in the nightcap as Angel Gino knocks down the game winner after the Amber Harris miss. Sentier Bank undefeated through 6 games. Not everyone on the women's side plays 6 games. Some of them play 5, some 6. Obviously the men, it's all 4-game seasons with more teams. But Sentier Bank played one more team than Circle City Talk and many other teams. Remains undefeated, knocks down everybody else in the pool, and they'll head into the playoffs with a win against every possible opponent. A great way to finish the first night of the last week of the regular season.
Yeah, Andrew, it was an exciting 4 games here at the City League, but don't go anywhere, as tomorrow Andrew will be right back here. And tune in here on the City League Network, on the City League YouTube channel. Sentier Bank ends the night with another win, going perfect in the Queens of the Court bracket in the regular season. I can only imagine them at full strength with Allie Becky. They would be my favorites right now to win that Queens of the Court bracket.
Absolutely. That'll be all for us tonight. Come back tomorrow. It's me and Zion Brown on the call for the last night of the regular season. A triple header here tomorrow. You're listening and watching the City League live from Bonner Fitness and Learning Center. Come back tomorrow. That's all for Brooks White and myself, Andrew Garrison, for the evening. One more night of City League basketball this regular season.